man doing?
And who's he with?
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, as usual, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start it off by giving all the glory and infinite praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Mokah HaKadosh. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, who I'm taught and learn this truth 100% from. Peace and blessings be to all you Wa'akwati, that are serving Yahweh Hashem Shine sincerity, hoping for mercy and salvation in these last days, man. Shalom and Yahweh Shema Shai Barakathum. So, I believe what I'm going to entitle this lesson is, here's the patience and the faith of the saints. Alright, because ever since, brothers have come into this awakening, we've been alerted to who, not only the so-called white man is, but all these other nations outside the nation of Israel, which consists of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And even within that, right, the Most High has a remnant set to the side who he was going to use to restore the nation, while the 2/3 was going to be basically created in vain on this side, and to the kingdom of heaven, man. Alright, so even then, there's enemies in the midst of our nation. Alright, but the point that I'm getting at is that ever since we've come into this knowledge and we've, come to understanding that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to give us recompense for what our enemies have done to us. Alright, and you see how proud these damn nations, and it's especially the so-called, the so-called white man. Right, the scriptures goes into how they're the most proud. Esau truly don't think that nothing is gonna happen to him. Right, these Edomites are proud. You know what I'm saying? You can be out there on the highways and the byways, and the shit don't matter. Because at the end of the day, for what if some do not believe, and if you an Edomite, it damn sure don't matter if you believe or not. All right, but you can be out there on the highways and the byways telling these motherfuckers to their face that they gonna go into slavery for what they did, to us as a people, because it wasn't only just the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that went into captivity. You had all the rest of the other different, Latin tribes and native tribes that went into captivity as well, man. All right, so combining all that, in the southern kingdom, that's just the one that's most known about. All right, but combine all the shit that happened to Jake as a whole, man. Right, Esau got some shit coming his way, man. All right, and when you read in the book of Psalms, the 51st chapter, it goes into how this man thought that the Most High was with him. He thought that the Most High was basically like the Most High winked at him, right, for all the shit that he's done on earth, and he thinks that nothing is gonna happen to him. All right, but there's a recompense coming upon his head, which is why Yahweh Shai said that if this was his kingdom, his servants will fight. This ain't our kingdom, so this is why at this present moment, the Lord ain't, gave us spiritual power, because if that was the case, this shit'll be over with. Right, but we coming into a point in time where Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna bless us with some, just say it how Jake talk, bless us with some shit that hey, when people see it, there's not going to be any other answer but, damn, Yahweh Shema Shai do exist. All right, this is why the scriptures say that thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power, man. All right, right now it seems like it's something it seems like a fairy tale or something. You know what I'm saying? You tell people that, one day you're going to be able to just heal somebody. Just throw up a prayer on them, and they going to be walking and shit. If they had autism, they'd be healed from that. They be functioning properly. Like, brothers are gonna be able to float, just levitate. You know what I'm saying? Fuck around, turn water into wine like Yahweh Shai did. Just pull water out of thin air using the elements. These are things that brothers are gonna be able to do, and even on a grander scale, to use that power as a tool for vengeance, man. Because there's many scriptures that go into that, man. All right. But I want to read this one real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes in the rocks. And the elites of these Edomites in the upper echelon of these other nations, they know what's up. All right, they know what's up. This is why they have DUMBs, deep underground military bases. You know, this is why they trying to focus on, rebuilding life after a nuclear apocalypse. All right, they know they're gonna have to get down there in them bunkers, not only to escape the nuclear destruction, but they know that Yahweh Shah is gonna come and send his men after their ass. They don't put out movies like Project Power and other different movies that show how Jake be getting that power and be turning up on troops and slicing shit in half, and you know what I mean. They know that the elect is walking around on this earth today, right? And at some point in time, Yahweh Shah is gonna raise up his men. They know that. This is why. Hey, if it was up to the so-called white man, he would have been and tried to get us up off the streets. You know what I'm saying? But he knows, right, what's going to happen pursuing the prophecy. The Most High is going to lift up that standard, man. And once he do, it's over with, man. Because just like in that reel I just played, he was going into how, I think the caption said, when me and the bros get spiritual power and pay a visit to Israel. It was something along them lines. All right, and it showed, different figures in there with spiritual power. Superman, shit like that. Right, which is all Jake through the spirit, man. But hey, everything comes from the inspiration of something. Esau ain't just pull out, comic books and comic book characters just out of his ass, man. Esau knows the scriptures. Most of them comic book characters that they've put together, it all comes from the scriptures. The Hulk is like Samson. You have a shot of Superman. The scriptures goes into sparks amongst stubble, how the angels are. Flash. All that, man. Everything comes from the inspiration of something. So you best believe when they put these movies out, that's not just Hollywood, man. All right. Esau know what's up. If the Most High can bless him through the carnal, with the carnal, this nigga has jetpacks, he can fly around and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's been blessed with the sword. He has flying vehicles. If he has that on the carnal side, what makes you think that the Most High can't bless you with abilities that's gonna surpass that through the right hand side, through the spirit, man? All right, Jake gonna have to step out on faith, man. Jake can't be putting the Most High in a little ass box. All right. But I want to read this over again one more time, and it reads, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. And this is what we gonna do, and I can't wait. This is what we gonna do after we get done, drinking that intergalactic wine with Yahweh Shai on the chariot, man. Right after brothers get their crowns and we turn up, we gonna come back down and we gonna handle business, man. All right, we're gonna come back down and we gonna handle business in a real messy ass way. All right, the Most High is gonna give us the ability to thrash through shit, absolutely thrash through shit. All right, and I got a couple scriptures that I want to grab real quick. This is the book of Micah 5:8, and it says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion amongst the beasts of the forest. All right, the remnant of Jacob, this is going into, the elect. All right, not the elect as a whole, right? Because women and children ain't gonna be down here getting busy. right? But the Most High is going to use the 144,000, which consists of all men, you know, the prophets, the apostles, secret disciples, so on and so forth. All right, the Most High is going to give us that ability, and I don't want to say, you know, I'm one of those elect members. But the Most High, right, is basically going to allow us to come down so we can take over the earth, man. As it reads, it says, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles, right, going into the natural Gentiles, the other nations. You see how it makes a separation. As a lion amongst the beasts of the forest, and a lion, you know, you can look up a documentary. A lion, when it see, you know, water buffalo, when it see antelope, impalas, that lion be quick, fast, and straight on their ass, man. So if the Most High is making a similitude of how we're going to be amongst them, as comparing us to being a lion amongst the beasts of the forest, they say as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who if he go through, both tread it down and tear them in pieces, and none can deliver. So imagine dropping a sheep off over there in the savannah somewhere where lions be. Man, them lions gonna tear that sheep up. All right, ain't that sheep? It's gonna be wool every goddamn where, right? It's gonna look like a pillow fight that happened. This is what it's gonna be like when brothers come down and have that spiritual power, man. All right, this is why Esau, he gonna be crunching and ducking and hiding in his bunkers and shit, but we gonna get his ass up out of there. You know what I'm saying? A good, you know, and Lord willing, I'll bring it back up. But a good story is that Black Jesus story going into, I think, what was his name? Simeon Toko, that was his name. You know, and brothers believed through the spirit that he was an angel. Basically, he was over there in, you know, somewhere in Africa, and he had like some type of, he had like spiritual ability, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? He was doing all type of shit. And anyways, Esau was over there and he was trying to, you know, basically capture him and you know, lock him up or some shit and interrogate him and all that. And they were shooting him. You know what I'm saying? But he was like regenerating himself. You know what I'm saying? And then they seen when he kept coming back, they chopped him up. They put his body parts in radioactive containers and dropped off his body parts using jets in different parts of the earth. And they say that one day the elites was having a meeting or some shit, and he had popped up in the meeting room out of nowhere, and he had said that you want to get rid of me so bad, all right, there's gonna be many more just like me in the near future, all right. And I don't know what happened. I think it disappeared or something. I'll have to look back at the story. All right. And you'll have, you know, people that think that that's fake, you know what I'm saying? But these type of things ain't far-fetched. Going back into the ancient world, it was nothing for somebody to see something that was, you know, what people would call superstitious today, right? Or fantasy, so to speak. Angels popping up on Jake ass back then. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't like it can't happen today. The scriptures say, right, hey, be not forgetful, for some have entertained angels unawares, man. All right. Micah 4:13, it says, arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, and I will make thy hooves brass, and thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their grain, cycle their gain unto the Lord, and their substance unto the Lord of the whole earth. All right, and when you go into the etymology for the word horn, or when you go into the you can just say the etymology, you know, because I remember back then I used to use the Blue Letter Bible to go into the definition of it. But horn, it goes into beams of light or rays of light. All right, so arise and thresh, O daughter of Zion, for I will make thine horn iron, which means rays of light. And you can actually go into the definition of it, you know what I'm saying, you know, in the Greek and the Hebrew, and it'll show you that, right? It's talking about beams of light or rays of light. And thou shalt beat in pieces many people, and I will consecrate their grain unto the Lord and the sustenance unto the Lord of the whole earth, which is where they get the whole concept of shit like, you know, Superman, how he's able to emit them beams out of his eyes. I forgot that one dude. Damn, he smacked that motherfucker. But I forgot this, what that one dude name is, but he's in like the Fantastic or some shit, but he wears that little eyepiece covering his eye, and he takes it off, and he's able to like shoot rays out of his eyes and shit. Brothers are gonna be able to do that, like Brightburn, basically, man. All right. So I got this last one I want to pull, and I'm gonna go ahead and end it off. Isaiah 40:31, and it reads, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not be faint." And what a key word, you know, or what stands out to me the most in this precept is renew their strength. All right, because when you renew something, it's something that you already once had, man. Right, but you're basically just getting another. Let me see. How can I word this? All right, you basically just getting another form of it, so to speak, man. Right, so through the Spirit, just like how brothers, you know, brothers had, you know, woken up to this knowledge, and you was predestined to receive it. Right, it's the same thing when it comes to spiritual power. Now, not every brother gonna receive it, you know, on this side. Now, when we do get brought down to the earth, every brother gonna have it for sure. All right, but hey, brothers could have been them souls going back to being the sons of God, because I remember the elders was breaking it down, and back then, during that time, Jake had spiritual power. You know what I'm saying? Jake was at the, like, Mortal Kombat shit, going crazy. All right, which is why it goes into how it was great violence upon the earth, man, during that time. But, you know, with that being said, you know, Salaki, if I was getting a little off track a little bit, you know, I try to keep everything as you know, topic focused as I could. You know, but, you know, with that being said, I'm going to go to close it out. Lord willing, this was edifying, and that my sacrifice was acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, with that, I say Shalom, Abba Ban, Yahweh Shema Shai, Barakatuh.